Okay, I needed to do a quick tutorial for you about Trello, and Trello is a sort of program that integrates with your devices, and also you can access them via via the web. This is a tool that we've been experimenting with for about a year now, and I think it's about time that we start including a few more of you, um, because I think this is going to be a tool that will need to kind of keep track of all the various projects and progress of kind of getting things better within Wild Asia. Um, because it's integrated with Google, you simply need to be logged into Google or allow access to Google to give you access to Trello. And I'm going to walk you through in a second just some of the key features within Trello, some of the various functions. Um, this is what it looks like. You can create boards, and the boards will have um, just different. I mean, you can use the boards in many different ways, and what you're adding here are cards, and the cards can be checklists, the cards can be pictures, the cards can be anything that we want to remember. And we have a set of members that we can invite, and they have then access to the sort of content inside here. I try not to use too many pictures because that just increases the sort of space that you need. So keep this simple, keep this to notes, and it also gives you kind of a list of what other people have done or added to the board. There's also notifications, so if there's anything new to your particular board, you will be notified. Within the boards themselves, you can also share, you can share, you can give access to various members. There's labels, checklists, if there's any deadlines that you need. You can also, I mean, this is an example of a checklist, and you can tick them off, and you can also hide the things which are already done. I also sometimes use these notes, just open notes, so that I remember things along the way. The cool thing about this is this integrates with just about all your devices, from your iPads to your iPhone. So it also gives me access to just some of the things that I need to remember. And it means that, we're not, what we need is just simple things, simple notes, reminders really, about action plans, about meetings, and also about ideas. I think that's about it. So to log in, I would go to the page, and in this case, I'm using Google, and I've got various Google accounts, and this way around I can add various Google accounts, and so in this case I'm signed up using my Wild Asia account, and this should in theory get me in. Okay, this should in theory get me in. Okay, now let me see if I can remember my password. Okay, success. I've inverted my colors, so just to make it easy for you to see where my mouse is. The way the boards are structured right now is we really have two private boards, which is kind of just, it's not, we're just hiding information, but there's certain information that, or certain meetings that we're having about some of the finance issues or new ideas, etc. We don't need to share this with everybody. So we have two private boards. Really, the people one should be kind of kept to progress meetings, because I think we should get into the habit of speaking with you individually, and so whilst we're focused on work and there'll be lots of work to be done, it's also important that we keep track of of you as an individual within the organization, because it's very easy to get lost. And so this is where we should put the notes from the meetings that we've had with you. The org stuff would be the sort of new developments, new people, etc., etc. Then there's certain programs like Responsible Tourism, SBI, the Academy, the TSP, SAI kind of related stuff. And then these two are sort of things that we can KIV, or maybe in the future we can do without. So for most of you, you probably will be accessing one or two of these boards. And so I don't share, not everyone, so I wouldn't share the organization boards generically, but I would share individual boards. So like I said, private boards, only very few people will have this. For the program boards or programs like TSP, WAGs, Academy, etc., we should give access to people who are taking more of a management role, of a supervisory role on projects. So then responsibilities for putting action points and logging meetings and things like this. This is where this should go. So I'll give you an example of what one board might look like. So I've kind of reordered this a little bit. What I'm putting up here would be group meetings, because this is WAGs as a whole. And we will be going through a sort of phase right now just to see sort of what are the main meetings that we have to do as a group. So this is just an example. So say, for example, WAGs group management review meetings. And I've also added something here in the description about who leads it, who should be involved, etc., etc. And the way I did this, so this is a dummy card, and you can kind of delete some of the information. I've used a checklist to create, I had a meeting, and then here are some of the main things that we kind of need to do. I can add some notes about that meeting. I will change the name of the date, or maybe the date here, and I can just keep doing it. So the next meeting, I can add a new meeting. So it'll be whatever the date is, and then I'll add it, and you'll notice it comes down. So we can keep to that convention, or you might want to move it up to say just whatever is the latest will be sitting on top. And then we just add the list. So say, oh, I had to do that, I had to do A, I had to do B, I had to do C, etc. So this would then be a kind of summary, very brief summary of the meeting that we had. So it saves us from writing complicated minutes, because at the end of the day, what we need to capture is who's going to do what and when. So that's also something else. So we can add Reza has to do something by June or by Jan, or be more specific, by 23rd or 24th of Jan. So these are things that we agree in the meeting. So let's log it. If we have major things, okay, say we said, we're going to have a meeting in 2 weeks. So then let's just set 2 weeks as a reminder and close it. So at least then the card will get a sort of notification of sort of big things that we needed to remember. So for particular groups or boards, we can then also share various members. And these are the members who are directly related to this particular project or the particular group. So you don't have to see everything again. So that's how I would kind of use one of these. So some people, for example, like myself and Sheila, we would be shared with everything. So we would come in at this level. So we would share the entire board, this entire board. so that this is so then we have access to different things. But say, for example, if you're only in the Buluram project, then we should just kind of open this up. Does it work now? Oh, actually, no, you can't do that. So it is, sorry. Yeah, so you can't share individual lists, projects, but you would share the board as a whole. But again, if we follow the theory that it's only really managers and supervisors, then, again, it's not everyone has to see everything because it's just information overload. So progress reviews, I've also added something here on, sometimes we get ideas. It's good to log them somewhere so we remember to kind of do something about it. These are for actual work proposals or potential proposals. Then I've just grouped them into management things, which is how we improve the management of WAGs. Then some of the other stuff would just be specific to the various projects that we're doing, and the projects will have different groups. So that's an idea of WAGs, and it's almost exactly the same for TSP. So TSP would have the meeting notes, and we have to agree what kind of meetings we're going to have, ideas to do, proposals. Here are some of the active TSP projects, and I've separated now between TSP, which is the sort of generic like Qantas support, short-term consultancies, versus those which are more biodiversity related. And in this case, we would have more specific meetings about TSP projects. So in this case, Aisha would be the main person I would be kind of corresponding with, and then logging the meetings in relation to this. And then if we have various projects, then they would be added as a new card like this. And then at the end of the project, when the project is dead, we just simply go that and we archive the project. So in this case, all these projects are no longer active, so we can archive them. Africa is still ongoing. So now Africa is a good example. So Africa is a TSP project, and in theory we would then, because it's slightly longer term, it's not a short project, we then create a new list, with the P number in it, and then this would be a very specific list to manage that particular project. So in theory, we should not have too many active at any one go, or we may do. I mean, that's a good sign. And then in this case, this one should be a sort of a TSP management progress notes, and this one should also TSP bio management progress notes. So that, in a more or less in a nutshell, gives you a view into how we would use Trello, and kind of experiment with this. Hopefully it becomes a tool that you can use. And obviously, if information is organized well, then it is a tool. And I think how I would use this is, have this opened up for during meetings, and so we can just log things directly into the TSP realm or into the sort of WAGs end of things. I think that kind of covers, I think for now, those are the two important sort of areas that we need to be kind of logging in. And if you have, more formal meeting notes, then it doesn't mean that those are redundant. I mean, those are required because you're communicating to external stakeholders. They should be saved with the project information. And then what we're trying to capture here is just the nuggets of action points that we have to remember. Okay, that's it. Good luck. And if anybody has any questions, you can also you can ask me, or you can go to the Trello website, trello.com, and see if there's any help for you there. So just note, there is a limit on space, so try not to put too many pictures, and let's just see how it goes. Okay.